Do you ever feel like your real estate agent is talking in a totally different language? Whenever I first started out in real estate, there were so many different terms being thrown around. So today we have members of the 𝐅𝐴𝐺 real estate team who are going to help us tackle a list of 40 common real estate related terms so that you can feel more confident going into this next stage. Let's get started.
An adjustable rate mortgage is a mortgage where the interest rate is only fixed for a set period of time, usually 3, 5, or 7 years, and at the end of that period, the interest rate resets at the market rate.
Amortization is a schedule of mortgage payments that lasts the life of your loan, and this includes principal and interest.
An appraisal is required by your lender. It is to ensure the property that you're under contract on is priced accurately with the market. In other words, so you don't overpay.
As is typically means that the seller is not willing to do any repairs during the inspection process or during the appraisal process.
The tax assessor is the person that examines the property and determines what your taxes will be at the end of the year.
A backup offer is an offer that a buyer puts on a home that is already under contract. You are technically in second place. Should the primary offer cancel for any reason, then your backup offer would become first and primary, and you would be the new buyer for the home.
A buyer's agent is a real estate professional who is hired to advocate for you. We go through all of the steps of the contract to negotiate for you on your behalf so that you get the best deal possible.
Closing costs are fees associated with the loan that are oftentimes charged by the lenders or title company, and this is often paid at closing.
Comps take into account various homes within a certain area that have sold within the last several months up to the last year that a real estate agent then uses to determine the property's current value.
Covenants and restrictions are bylaws for a subdivision that oversee what you can and can't do in a subdivision.
DOM stands for days on market. That's a number that accumulates as we have your property listed for sale. So the days that accumulate between going live and going under contract.
DTI, also known as debt to income ratio, is the amount of debt you owe compared to the income you have coming in, and that's how they get the ratio.
So your due diligence period in a contract is the time you have to do your inspections, any investigations on county or city regulations that you may need to check on.
EMD, or otherwise known as an earnest money deposit, is basically just your promise to buy a home. You're going to submit this when you go under contract, and it's usually 1 to 5% of the purchase price.
Equity is the investment that you have in your home.
An FHA loan is a loan that is backed by the Federal Housing Administration, and because of that, it is lower risk for lenders, and they will allow you to put less money down, usually 3.5%.
A fixed rate mortgage is just what it sounds like. It's a fixed rate for the entirety of the loan. It can be for 10, 15, 20, or 30 years.
A home sale contingency is when you as a buyer are contingent on your next home purchase with the sale of your current home. You have to have that home under contract in order to purchase your new one.
So an inspection is something that a buyer can have a licensed professional come in and take a look at the property and fill out basically a report about the condition of the home.
An inspection contingency is an agreed upon period of time for buyers to conduct any and all inspections that they would like to and then determine if they would like to move forward or not.
A loan contingency is something that protects the buyer's financial interest in the property while under contract in the event that their financial circumstances might change.
The MLS, or the Multiple Listing Service, is a database where agents input information about homes for sale that then are syndicated out to websites like Zillow, realtor.com, etc. for you to see.
An offer, a buyer presents in writing the amount that they are willing to pay for the property at that time. A counteroffer is once the seller receives that offer, if they don't like any of the terms, they are able to counteroffer to send back to the buyer to discuss what they would like.
A pre-approval is the first step you will take to purchase your home. You're going to get with a lender, provide them with all of your financial information, and this will help set your budget.
Pre-qualification is basically the loan application information that has not been verified, and they give you a pre-qualification with that information.
The principal would be the balance on your mortgage statement. So if you buy a home for $450,000, you put a 5% down payment, your principal balance would be $427,000 or 95% of your purchase price.
Probate sale is when the owner of the property has passed away and it is transferring to kids, whatever heir that owner has chosen.
Proof of funds is just basically what it says. It's just you showing that you have the funds to purchase a property with cash.
Realtor, also known as a licensed real estate agent. We are members of the NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, where we uphold the code of ethics and offer a fiduciary duty to both our sellers and our buyers.
Rent back is after the close of the property, the seller is able to rent the property back from the buyer for a decided amount of time.
REO stands for real estate owned, and that occurs whenever a lender has foreclosed on a property. It has gone to foreclosure auction but has not sold, and now the lender is listing the property for sale outside of an auction.
Runner. I deliver your signs, earnest money, and anything else you might need throughout your transaction.
Seller concessions, or also known as seller paid closing costs, are negotiated into the contract when the seller agrees to pay for some of the buyer's closing costs.
A seller's disclosure is a document that the seller fills out with all the information that they know of the property that they're selling.
A short sale is a clever way for a seller to avoid foreclosure. This is where a lender agrees to accept less than the current mortgage amount owed by the current homeowner.
Termite report is just a form of inspection report that you can do on your property. For most types of loans, it's optional. VA requires it.
A title search is a search that is run by the title company when you are under contract, and this search proves that the home is clear of any liens against the property outside of the current owner's mortgage.
A trust sale is where the property is owned in a trust. The trust will spell out how the property is to be sold and how the money is to be distributed.
USDA loan is a type of government-backed loan provided by the United States Department of Agriculture. Usually lower densely populated areas qualify.
A VA loan is backed by the government and is offered to active or retired military members and often their spouses.
Thanks for hanging out with us today as we went through those 40 terms that we hear time and time again in the real estate world. Maybe we missed something, or maybe you want a little bit more detail about something we talked about earlier. Let us know in the comments down below. Also, make sure to like, share, subscribe, send this to all of your friends and family. We'll have so much good content coming up and exciting things in the future. So again, this is Jessica Hetty with KC Connections. We'll catch you in KC.
You're just rolling. You're just gonna cut all of this out.
Sarah.
I was waiting till you finished.
What you qualify for on a loan.
Can we keep that in?
Oh, I forgot you have a mic on me.
It wasn't recording, I'm just kidding. Okay, here we go. Next one. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions?